Hello and welcome. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. This is Kimberly with Journal Breeze. And today I'm going to share a flip through of my journal that I made from the August Junk Journal collaboration. I was day 9, but I moved ahead and made a journal that I just couldn't be happier with. I used most of the prompts, but I don't think anybody's going to use all the prompts in one journal necessarily. The goal really is to make a journal that you love and doing it with other people and being inspired by each other. And that certainly happened with this. So thank you, Lidia of Raindrop Lila, for putting this together and providing just beautiful papers. They are called Blessings 2 on Etsy in her shop, Raindrop Lila, and all the links will be below, and the collaborators and all of it is going to be in the description box. It's also in my link tree in my Instagram account. So please see this prompt list as something that you can use anytime, because it basically puts down all the different steps and sorts of things that we might want to consider when we're making any journal. It's a handy list to have, and Lidia has it available on her Ko-fi as a freebie along with some other cool stuff, and that's also linked. So with that, let's move forward. So I did the back with this envelope for the layers prompt, and it's held on by this chain, so I will share what's inside of it with you a little bit later. And I found this wonderful chain recently at a flea market, and obviously it was an old piece of jewelry. I don't know if it was a necklace or a sweater guard or what it was, but it worked out so well. It just hangs down enough to hold my journal together. And I explained on my belly band day, you can find these easily as recent videos on my homepage of this channel. This lace is actually matching this lace just by chance. And I also added this little cute puffy lace around the edges, and then another piece of beautiful lace here to, prevent it from getting too dirty with hands. And it is a single signature. Love the picture. Could be from a wedding, could be from a ballet, who knows, but they've had a eventful day, let's say, right? All right. Oh, this is the front of the envelope. I made that from tea. So we open this up to a tag to which I've added French stamps and stamped journal from a tailor-made journal stamp. And then if you can see the glisten on the butterfly. Oh, let's see if I can catch it. Well, I used a glitter pen on all the black. I can see it so well in person, but it's not showing up in the camera today. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Yeah. This is one of my belly band ideas to match the belly band to the background. These are individual pieces of textiles, and I actually bought them cut up in different sizes and different groupings. They have no affiliation with anything, but was happy to get them, and so I use them as I can, and they kind of extend the embossing here. Oh, I put this back wrong. Hold on, shut your eyes. This is how this is supposed to go. Okay. There we go. All right. So this says family, and this is a family. And I added stamps to the windows just because. This is a paperclip button that I rusted the paperclip, and then I used gold waxing to cover some of the black of the button in the middle. And made it a little less garish. It was kind of garish. This is a tape made with sticker paper. Open it up, and it's on a wonderful ledger that I got in Happy Mail, the thick paper. This is a Russian paper that came with a journal that I bought from Russia. And this is a book page that was such a beautiful scene. It's a little bird up there in the nest. Isn't that gorgeous? And stenciled gather. This is an encyclopedia page that also came in the Happy Mail, and extended over here, and then I glued for a tuck spot names from a ledger that I have, paper ledger. And I made this little bit with stamps, and everything changes when you choose yourself. Hope you guys are well. Hope things are moving along. Aren't too stagnated with all that's going on in the world. Crafting helps us get through it, doesn't it? Oh, you could just there see it glisten. You see the black on the butterfly right now? You can start to see it. It's nice. This is a texture paste that I did on an old French book page. It's a private club of artists, and they had beautiful prints like this 1882 book, like their annual. This is from the kit. Love this page. It's actually a flip up. This would be the top, but I added it to the back, and used muslin to do that. This really was printed to go like that, and it was part of the kit where she gives the name of the kit. So she has a strip of pieces from the kit here, and another one here on the page, and in the middle is the name of that particular part of the kit. But I wanted to use it lengthwise, so I put different things on it to have it face the right direction. So these are papers from a Tim Holtz packet. This is paint swatches that I made. This is actually on the piece of paper. This is an embossed strip, and this is a cluster that I made. A lot of papers in this one. A lot of papers, and a couple of pretty silk yarns. And then these papers inside of it are from a 1944, I had said 1942 in a post, but 1944 cookbook for institutional cooking, like schools, hospitals, prisons, and it has recipes and financial things. And there are quotes at the bottom of each page. So it's handy for a lot of different things when it comes to journals, because there's so much writing space on it. And the color is a beautiful color. It doesn't have any kind of distressing or coffee dye or anything on it. And this background is embossed, and I stitched it. One of the prompts is stitch, which they probably meant hand, but machine stitching is stitching. That's the way I look at it. And then I cut this out of a page. I added this little cutout to the top, and I put this behind it. Beautiful. I love this picture. And then you turn it over, and it's got another embossing on the back. And this is what I glued. And then you can pick this up and do private writing underneath. So I thought that was really, really fun. She just tucks right in there. And by putting it on an angle so that her face can show, but it doesn't take up too much space, I can line this design up right behind this paper clip. And it makes the top look really pretty. Yeah, Now, this is a smaller version. I also printed the paper out smaller of her, so I cut off all this to get that. And then this is a gorgeous picture. There wasn't a bigger one of this in the kit. One of my favorite tags in the kit is just a stunning picture, obviously a painting at one point. And then I put these paint splotches and a stamp on it. This is kind of a purpley sky, and that's purple. And then this was sort of the color of the earth that they're sitting on way up high. And of course the blue and the sky itself. Just a beautiful experience of light on the side of a mountain. I don't know how they paint that way. It's really something else to me. If you gave me $10 billion, I couldn't figure it out. Now here we have actually a paper bag. This is a paper bag. And this is the tag, again, in the kit. I've put a couple stamps on it in this French paper, rag paper. And then another stamp. Lots of writing space. It's like a cotty paper in brown. And some lace down here. The top is made from a book page. I embossed it and distressed it. And then I cut out corners from lace and put them on top. And then this crinkle ribbon, it gets a little more smushed down at every turn, but what are you going to do? And then this is the tag that goes inside. And again, it's from the kit, and I didn't want to do a lot to change it because I love it. I added this Paris stamp. Also, I was concerned about bulk, so it was beautiful just the way it was. That stamp took up no height, and these ribbons could be on the other side of the pocket, so it was a safe thing to do, and I think it's really pretty. And on the back, I put a flower cutout, which is actually from freebies, which are on her Ko-fi along with the prompt list. I made a stamp with the word journal from TaylorMade Journals onto some scraps I had left over from the kit. And this is my absolute total favorite tag in the whole kit because of the colorways. Love it. Love it. I made this from crepe paper with a little tea-dye, narcotic paper, and beautiful coloring. Just sensational. Felt very August, end of summer was nearing. Oh, and then this rose here came from her one of her Fussy Cuts pages. I think it'd be pretty on sticker paper, and then you wouldn't see the beige in there, but I'd already made the page on paper, so I'll save that sticker idea for another time. This is from that same French paper that I showed you before that has the beautiful blue on it. They did all kinds of art in there and music, songs, so they had all kinds of artists in that organization. And this is a lace that I sort of made into a bit of a ruffle. This is the centerpiece. This is from a very early music book, and it's one of the whitest pages in there. I couldn't believe it. But it's an Irish song about Ireland, and I just thought it was beautiful font. How often do you see 3 stanzas? And the notes were all beautiful and different. The other side is wider because I had more room to play with. I wanted to cut this short so that this would all show. On this, we could still see the lace, so I could cut it to full size. And then this wonderful old doily. It's a linen on the inside that they sewed to what they had made with crochet. And I wanted it all loose so I could see the back. And I just think it was a beautiful use of both the paper and this doily. So pretty, so loose, so summery looking. And this is a piece of linen that was already stamped on. I actually bought it as yardage. And I'm leaving these dangles because I think I might add something to the bottom when I figure out how to do it exactly. I was thinking maybe pearls. Now this, you've seen this page, but not with this and this added. So I originally had more of this lace down here, and the page looked like that, and next to it was this page. And so it just, to me, ended up being too busy, too much to look at. So that's when I decided to add this page of music, and then, of course, what are you going to put on the other side? So it was fun to figure it out. And I got this from Paper Cameo, and I printed it on a dark tan cardstock so that it came out coral, which is exactly the color of these roses. I mean, you might think they're pink, but they do have a pinkish quality, but they're really also a coral. And just went beautifully with this paper and this strip of velvet that is on this paper, so obviously because it's printed, but gorgeous. I thought it was just the perfect paper to be next to it. And then these beige laces are of roses, if you can see those. And this is a dyed lace that I dyed a long time ago. I added the stamp and perfume. And that's the top of the bag, the other half of the bag, or the other quarter of the bag, really. And then I cut up some lace and added it to the bottom to give the piece a little more balance and to add more texture and color down in this corner. This is the other side of that bag. So I made that a tuck. And this is the other part of the lace that sticks out. And this is the background paper that's in the kit. And then this is also a paper in the kit, but I embossed it on that side. So it's very beautiful. And this embossing was just subtle. Rather than cut the space off in this vase, it just couldn't be more beautiful. I think it's early 1900s type of decor. Late 1800s. The daisies. The prairie look. Some flowers. Another tag in the kit. Love it. Added the word poems from her fussy cuts. Put another sticker. This is one of her freebie flowers, and I did it on a sticker. And added a petal up there. This is from one of her pages, and I cut it down. And now this is linen. This is more of what's in the center of the center. And they're on a farm. I loved that. So I took some old ledger I had, cut out a piece from her receipts kit, and added these names that I cut off of this strip from the ledger. And they're all dated 1904. This one wasn't. Isn't it interesting how they put a check mark by everybody? Huh. I've never seen that before. A pencil check mark right there. Not sure what it was, like year end or something like that. Anyway, love the coloring. I think it really shows off. I put rice paper in the background. It's kind of a gray rice paper, which I thought went well with that. So all in all, there's a lot happening there that you can see behind here and see behind there and see up here. And that's what I was going for in this journal, you guys. I wanted to have lots and lots of things showing up and over and beyond. This is another belly band that I showed how to make and the idea behind it. And it just looks so perfect on this craft color paper because this is also craft. And the two tags were from the kit. This tag has more of this writing up here. I took a handmade paper, embossed it, and put that on there, leaving some room for writing. Backed it with one of the other papers from the kit. And then I added lace to this and cut it up to try to make it look gold because I couldn't really, it wouldn't stretch and get that look. So I took chunks out of it instead. And then left room for writing as wanted. And put two pieces of the sari at the top and stapled them to keep it from being, having a thickness. I wanted to keep it as flat as I could because it is, getting so bulky. This is my collage prompt. I took a page out of the kit. I put a different page back here. This is the quote I'll tell you about in a minute. And then this page is already collaged, beautiful book page, and journal page. And so I added to it, and I posted how many can you see. So I'll tell you now how many there were. This is one. It's Theodore Roosevelt's penmanship from a biography on him. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 additions to the page, and it looks like a lot more because it is a collage page to start with. And this is a wonderful quote, and another page that has some similar papers, but it's a different collage page in the kit. The quote is, "Thought takes man out of servitude into freedom." So to me, this means, if you have to do something in servitude, as long as you're thinking, as long as you're present to your mind, you're free. You can be anything in your mind, and your imagination can take you anywhere at all. So thought takes man out of servitude into freedom. Love the quote. And I think it's so great that an institutional diary, cookbook, recipe book would have a quote a day, right? I just think that's very cool. They would never do that today. This is another belly band that I made. And I wanted to cut this tag back so that just the right thing lined up on the bottom. First, I'll show you. This is another plaster texture paste that I put together on some of that paper that came out of the French Art Organization's book. That beautiful blue design printed on there in their French penmanship. And this is the other side, which I did not want to cover. So I was happy to have it in this pocket. It actually goes like this, but the stencil shows better if it's like that. So I wanted the top of this tag to look like that, and I wanted the bottom to look like that below the belly band. And you can see more about that in my Day 9 video, which is maybe one video ago, easy to find. And then same thing with how I set up this belly band. And then I put white stickle shiny dots around the white butterfly and laid it in the middle of a piece of lace where this looked like butterfly coming out of it, like other wings or the shape of the butterfly. And then also down here. I love this peach color, which shows up in here, and then the blue shows up in here. I just thought it was a beautiful arrangement. Even this color green is beautiful with it, in my opinion. So the fussy cut, or the tuck, I fussy cut the tuck. How's that? Say that 3 times, right? This is on that same heavy-duty ledger paper. And this is an old tag that I found somewhere. A lot of it's on there. But I added these 3 stamps, which are so stunning. And, of course, I picked this old tag. Please don't ask me where it's from. I have no idea. It's many, many years old. But the aqua is what caught my eye. And then I tried to add stamps that would correspond with what's going on in here. And it is a French piece of ephemera on here. So having French stamps made sense. And then look at this cool border that is on this tag. Tag. Journaling card, really. It's so pretty. I think it was a freebie on some group I was in. No, I don't think I bought it. And finally, we're at the end. And originally I had something on here, but it was so thick already. And I ended up putting these kind of full things in this pocket. So I'm probably going to leave this blank. But if I come across something that could lay flat and go here, I will definitely be adding that. Because I don't think that would be too much height. If it was a piece of lace or trim or something like that. I had made some green silk. It was a satin piece of ribbon to add, but it just didn't work with the cover. The cover already had a lot going on. Color was nice, so then I thought, well, can I somehow put it on here? But honestly, it would take up a lot of room. So these are the tags that I made, but let me show you how pretty it looks. So it's the same print as this, and I melded it in And I just didn't want to have the same color on both sides. I wanted something else, and I love the coloring of the ledger with this. So first this is a tag that I made a little short time ago and shared. I added the French stamps. This is vellum. It's on top of a blotter, a stamp blotter that, was a throwaway that I realized was really cool looking, and I saved it for quite a while, and then I found a use for it. Old piece of washi and a small scrap from there's lots of paper I have that has his handwriting. It's ministers. He wrote down all of his sermons, and I just have a million books of his handwriting. So I'm trying to start to begin to use it. It's really beautiful. And then this is cheesecloth, and I brought it up into a little bunch and put lace on it so as to show more of the carte postale and papers and letters. And yeah, this is fun to make. Oh, I should back it with something prettier. Yes, I should. But will I? I don't know. And then we have this beauty. Every single thing on here I added. This is not the tag. Well, I think this is original right here, right there. But everything else are all scraps. And I'm certain I just had them laying around. I like to do that. It's funny how often they'll come together if you have used them for a project you worked on for a while. They tend to kind of have a similar look if they're going to go in the journal. And so it was possible to put this together. I really love it. I think I'd like to put something here maybe. It's like the eye goes here and wants something. So I'll keep my eye out for another scrap to put there. And then we have our back. So I will show you this envelope. So on this side, this actually opens up, and this would be a writing space. This is in the kit. I used tea to make this design, and I used a purple tea, and now there's purple on the paper. And you can see the design to some extent in there. See it? So I really love this side too, almost more. And I didn't want to cover it up, although I think penmanship can go on top. But this is the story of Pandora, the myth. And what I wanted to say that because I never knew a lot of it, and only heard the bad part. But the fact of the matter is, there was a little winged fairy in the box that opened and let out all the troubles, and filled the world with troubles that had been idyllic prior to her opening up this box that she was told not to open. And she shut it as soon as she realized that she'd released all these troubles. And a little winged creature they call a fairy got caught right on the edge of the mystery box. And the mystery fairy's name was Hope. So when Hope realized what had happened, she flew around the world and started to try to make people feel some joy again and have some green grass again. And basically, the moral of the story is, so this is the way that troubles came into the world, giving into temptation and doing what you were told not to do, open the box, but must not forget that hope came with the troubles. And I just thought that was really fitting for our times, and I loved having the real story. And this is an old book page from an old book. So I'm just keeping the whole thing. And this pretty design at the top of the next mythological story was also worth keeping. So there it is. So I hope you enjoyed the flip through. I'd love to hear what your favorite part was, if you got inspired by anything. And I always forget to ask you to please like this video if you did, and subscribe if you do. And also, I love reading your comments, and I always respond. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy the rest of the collaboration, and I will see you next time. Take care, everyone.